Hello everyone. In the previous video we discussed about engineering mechanics and strength of material portion which were asked in GATE 2016 set 1. In this particular video we will discuss about thermodynamics. Now if I go to the analysis part, in thermodynamics there were two 1 mark question, particularly in set 1 I am discussing. There were two 1 mark question, 4 2 mark question, total number of questions were 6 and total marks was 10. Now the very first question was question number 16. Which of the following statement is true with respect to heat and work? They both are boundary phenomena. Yes, this is true. Heat and work both are boundary phenomena. They are exact differential. This is not true. Heat and work both are path function, not the point functions. Or all point functions or properties of the system are the exact differentials. Path function is not the exact differential. And they are path function. Yes, this is true. So answer is B, both 1 and 3. Next is question number 45. For water at 25 degree centigrade, dPs by dTs is equal to 0.189 kilopascal per Kelvin, where Ps is saturation pressure in kilopascal and Ts is saturation temperature in Kelvin, and the specific volume of dry saturated vapor is 43.38 meter cube per kg. Assume that the specific volume of liquid is negligible in comparison with that of vapor. Using the Clausius-Clapeyron equation, an estimate of the enthalpy of evaporation of the water at 25 degree centigrade in kilojoule per kg is. Okay, so we have to use Clausius-Clapeyron equation and we have to determine the enthalpy of evaporation, or in other words we can say we have to determine HFG. Okay, now what does Clausius-Clapeyron equation says? According to Clausius-Clapeyron equation, dP by dt is equal to HFG upon Ts, which is saturation temperature, into Vg minus Vf. Okay, now what are given? dP by dt is given saturation at saturation pressure. dP by dt की value given how much? That is 0.189. HFG we have to determine. Saturation temperature is given as 25 degree centigrade. In Kelvin it will be 25 plus 273 Kelvin. Okay, now Vg minus Vf. So Vg is given, which is 43.38 meter cube per kg. Specific volume of dry saturated vapor is given. That means Vg is given. Another thing which is mentioned, specific volume of liquid is negligible in compared to that of vapor. That means Vf is negligible. Okay, so Vf will be taken as 0 and Vg is 43.38 minus 0. Okay, so from here we can get the value of HFG, and this HFG on calculation will be 2443.24 kilojoule per kg. Getting this not? Okay, next question. An ideal gas undergoes a reversible process in which pressure varies linearly with volume. Okay, I will draw the PV diagram. The pressure is varying linearly with volume. Okay, variation is given linear. The end conditions are given with subscripts 1 and 2. P1 is given as 100 kilopascal, V1 is 0.2 meter cube, P2 is 200 kilopascal and V2 is 0.1 meter cube. Gas constant R is also given. We have to determine the magnitude of work done for the process. Okay, so pressure is 100 kilopascal and pressure is increasing to 200 kilopascal. Volume is decreasing from 0.2 meter cube to 0.1 meter cube. Okay, so the variation will be like this. Linear variation. Initial point 1, pressure is 100 kilopascal, volume is 0.2. Final point 2, pressure is 200 kilopascal, volume is 0.1 meter cube. Okay, we have to determine the work done, and as we know that area under PV diagram gives work done. Okay, so this is our PV diagram, a straight line, and if we determine the area under this straight line, this whole shaded area, this will give us work done. Okay, and how can we determine the work done? What will be work done? Work done is nothing but area under PV diagram. Okay, so you have to determine the shaded area of this trapezoid. Getting this or not? Okay, so what is the area of trapezoid? Half W1 plus W2 into L. So this will be 200 plus 100 into 0.2 minus 0.1 is nothing but 0.1. Okay, so this will be equal to 15 kilojoule. Answer. Simple question asked for 2 marks. Heading this. Next question. Question number 47. Okay. In a steam power plant operating on an ideal Rankine cycle, superheated steam enters the turbine at 3 megapascal and 350 degrees centigrade. Okay, I will draw the TS diagram of this Rankine cycle simultaneously. So we have, this is the TS diagram. The saturation curve. Now what it is said, initial condition is a superheated steam. Suppose this is point 1, where the pressure and temperature are given. At 3 megapascal, pressure is 3 megapascal and temperature is 350 degrees centigrade. So it is a superheated steam. Okay. Condenser pressure is given as 75 kilopascal. So from this point 1, this steam will expand up to, in the turbine, up to condenser pressure point 2. Okay, let me complete this cycle first, and then it will go to condenser up to saturated liquid point 3, then to the pump point 4, and again to the boiler. So this is our Rankine cycle. Okay. Now condenser pressure is also given 75 kilopascal. The thermal efficiency of the cycle we have to determine. Okay, so in order to determine the thermal efficiency, we will have to determine the turbine work, pump work. Pump work, however, we can neglect because pump work is very small. Pump work we can neglect. We have to determine turbine work, and we have to determine the heat transfer, heat added, and for that we will have to calculate enthalpies at various points. Getting this? So the very first thing, enthalpy at point 1, H1. So H1, the pressure is 3 megapascal and temperature is 350 degrees centigrade. Okay, and here the extracts of steam table is given at 3 megapascal and 350 degrees centigrade. Enthalpy is given and entropy is also given. That means H1 is how much? 3115.3 kilojoule per kg, and S1 is also given, which is 7428 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, and one thing we know, what, that this point 1 and point 2 are having constant enthalpy, constant entropy. These are having constant entropy. That means S1 will be equal to S2. Okay, so this S2 is also, this S2 will also be 6.7428 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, now at point 2, if we want to determine the enthalpy, then we will have to determine the dryness fraction. So how can we determine the dryness fraction? S2 will be equal to SF plus X2 SFG at condenser pressure, which is 75 kilopascal. Getting this now? Okay, so just put the values. So this will be 6.7428 will be equal to SF at 75 kilopascal. SF is given as how much? 1.213 plus X2, which we have to determine, into SFG. SFG is nothing but SG minus SF. SFG, the value of SFG is already given, which is 6.2434. Okay, so from here we can get the value of X2, and from here X2 will be equal to 0.885 on calculation. Adding this. Now if you want to determine H2, this H2 will be equal to what? HF plus X HFG. Okay, so just put the values. You will get the value of H2 as this H2 will be equal to 2402.55 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so S2 we have determined. Now what will be H3? H3, as we can see from the figure, this H3 is nothing but HF at 75 kilopascal, enthalpy of saturated liquid at 75 kilopascal. So this H3 will be equal to what? HF at 75 kilopascal, and at 75 kilopascal HF is given as how much? 384.39 kilojoule per kg. Getting this? Now last thing is H4. Now if we are neglecting pump work can be neglected, because if we are going to calculate pump work, it will take some time, it will take a lot of time, and that is not worth, according to me, and that is not worth, because in GATE, in fill in the blanks type of question, the computer accepts your answer within particular range. Okay, so if you are getting a nearby answer, then also it's okay. So H4, if we are neglecting pump work, so H4 will be equal to H3, and which is equal to 384.39 kilojoule per kg. Okay, now efficiency will be equal to what? Turbine work upon Q1. Turbine work is nothing but H1 minus H2. Q1 is nothing but H1 minus H4. Okay, so just put all the values H1, H2 and H4. You will get the efficiency as 26.1%. That's it. Answer. Getting this? Next question. Question number 45. Now, what is this question saying? The heat is removed from a molten metal of mass 2 kg at constant rate of 10 kilowatt till it is completely solidified. Okay, so we are having, initially we are having a molten metal at this point at 1023 Kelvin. Okay, and we are constantly removing heat from this, and at this particular point, the molten metal is getting solidified. Okay, and the time is given. The solidification started at 10 seconds and the solidification ends at 20 seconds. That means total time for solidification at which the latent heat is removed, that total time is given as 10 seconds. Okay, now we have to determine, assuming the uniform temperature throughout the volume of the metal during solidification, the latent heat of fusion of the metal is. We have to determine the latent heat of fusion. Okay, so how can we determine the latent heat of fusion? The heat is removed at a constant rate of 10 kilowatt. This is mentioned. Okay, 10 kilowatt means 10 kilojoule per second. This is the rate at which heat is getting removed, 10 kilojoule per second. And during solidification, where the latent heat is removed, total time taken is 10 seconds. Getting is not? So total heat removed will be equal to 10 kilojoule per second into 10 seconds. Getting this? Okay, so what will be latent heat? This is for 2 kg. This is for 2 kg of molten metal. Okay, so total heat removed is 100 for 1 kg divided by 2. So this latent heat will be equal to 50 kilojoule per kg. That's it. Answer. This is nothing but total latent heat of fusion of metal. Getting this? Okay, so this completes the thermodynamics portion of set 1. See you in the next video. Thank you.